The idea of having to raise the child alone while stuck with a pregnant lady was too much for me to handle. Despite the contempt in his eyes, he had a broad smile on his face since he knew this day would come. Though I had anticipated that, I hurried to my room, came back with some documents, and gave them to Adam. Shock distorted his face. "How absurd is that?" he cried. "What's this all of a sudden? It was, after all, your idea. Now sign it as soon as possible," I firmly stated. "I'll file it tomorrow." My remark struck a deep chord with him, and his face flushed scarlet. "Pay close attention," I said. "I'll make you regret all of the times you've treated and disregarded me. I am Rachel. I'm 31 years old. I was employed by a large mobile company until 5 years ago. When I was 26, I met my boss, Adam Johnson. We married after falling in love quite soon. Adam, who was 5 years my senior, was a great help, especially when I was a new employee with no experience. I was really appreciative of Adam's precise directions. We went out to eat frequently after becoming friends. I was ecstatic when he asked me out because I had never dated anyone before. As a cartoon aficionado, I have to admit that I was always more interested in 2D characters than real males, which is embarrassing. I began to feel pressure, though, when I noticed that my peers from high school and college were getting married. I made a secret self-promise to myself when I fell in love with Adam. He would be my first and last love. I was therefore ecstatic when we began dating and were married a year later. I was ecstatic. Adam was attractive and well-liked by our female employees. Many people congratulated us, saying things like, "Congratulations," or "I'm jealous, but I wish you happiness." And I felt proud to be his wife. I was ecstatic and had no idea what was going to happen next. "You're leaving your position," Adam declared. "You quit your job because you're married to me now, right?" The day after we register our marriage, he told me. Adam shocked me by telling me this. Adam remarked, "I've always wanted my wife to concentrate only on the house. Don't worry, my income will support the two of us," he continued. However, he had never addressed it before, and this was somewhat abrupt. It stunned me. Adam had never said that I was going to quit before we were married. My father had encouraged me to accept my current position, and it didn't feel right to quit without warning. I wanted to explain, but I refrained from speaking since Adam's expression told me not to get into an argument. "Although it's done, I should have told you. You are not required to report to work as of tomorrow. I'll manage the changeover," Adam said. Adam's comments were strong, but the news about beginning tomorrow came so suddenly that I felt lightheaded. He had been my supervisor, so I didn't think I could disagree with him. Despite having to quit my career without giving it a proper send-off, I was committed to ensuring our marriage would succeed. Since Adam had trusted me with the housework, I wanted to live up to his expectations. I put a lot of effort into doing housework, cooking, and making Adam's favorite foods. Adam ate without commenting on the food, but I yearned for an acknowledgement. I felt like no one knew who I was anymore when I quit my work. Adam inquired, "Is my jacket clean? Tomorrow is a big meeting for me." "Of course," I said in response. Observing his authoritarian tendencies and traditional beliefs, I told myself how fortunate I was to be his wife, and made an effort to live up to his expectations. I was totally dependent on Adam because I didn't have any money of my own. Frequently, our bond resembled that of a housekeeper and employer, rather than that of a husband and wife. Everything in our marriage went well until I became sick one day and was unable to get out of bed. I thought that the next day I would catch up on cleaning because I was so weak and exhausted. "What are you doing?" Adam demanded angrily as he walked into the bedroom. He tossed the cover off of me and said, "Get up and make some food." "I apologize. I'm not feeling well. Is there anything you can handle on your own today?" I clarified, thinking that would be understood. Adam scowled and remarked, "You don't work yet. You're lying down just because you feel a little sick," as opposed to nodding or offering me consolation. Pathetic. "Rise up," and gave me another kick. I decided to offer some news on the day Adam returned home after midnight, but the smell of booze when he came in made me queasy. He stumbled as he walked, his face heated. The amount of alcohol he had consumed was astonishing, especially because he had not told me. I stood in shock, even though I'd made dinner. I got out of bed, never imagining that he would make his ailing wife do housework. Before our marriage, I never would have thought he could be this kind of person. It was just too much. Perhaps I should have seen it sooner. I discovered that I was crying as I was doing chores. My health didn't get any better after a few days. I discovered later that I had missed my menstruation. I ran to the pharmacy in a panic to get a pregnancy test. I gave it a try, and the outcome was favorable. Joyful tears ran down my cheeks, and I told Adam the news as soon as he got home from work. My mood immediately improved. I decided to break the news the day Adam returned home after midnight. However, the stench of alcohol sickened me when he entered. He stumbled as he walked, his face heated. Given that he hadn't informed me that he would be out drinking, I was shocked by how much alcohol he had consumed. Having made supper and excited to tell my husband that I was pregnant, I informed him that I hadn't visited the doctor yet, so it wasn't confirmed. I started excitedly, but Adam's expression fell as he asked, "A child? How did you get here?" He spoke in a hard tone that was uncharacteristic of him. "Damn it, I don't want a kid. The worst is this. Raise it yourself if you're going to have it," he said. I was stunned by his harsh remarks. With disdain, he undressed and made his way to the loo. It was unbelievable to me. I found it incomprehensible that he would make such careless remarks about our child. My happiness vanished in an instant and was replaced by a profound sense of loss. Why would he say such things? He had never mentioned not wanting children before. We hadn't even been using contraception, so I naturally thought we both wanted children. As I hung Adam's jacket and was about to take his shirt to the washroom, I noticed something else. A piece of paper had slipped out from the pocket of his dress shirt. I could tell it was a receipt because of its texture. At first, I thought it was just a receipt from tonight's gathering, and was about to throw it away. But then I saw the name of the place. "Is this a motel?" My hand trembled as I held the receipt. It was indeed a motel. The shock of this discovery weighed heavily on my heart. Why doesn't Adam love me? Isn't marriage supposed to be between two people who love each other? We've only been married for just over a year. How could this be? I have been lost in imaginary romances for years, never really experiencing a true relationship. I couldn't accept this harsh reality right away, but the idea of Adam cheating started to make sense, and everything began to fall into place. Had Adam been using me from the start of our marriage? Was he truly in love with the person he was cheating with, while I was just a convenient housekeeper? These doubts swirled in my mind. Was that why he reacted so harshly when he found out I was pregnant? As I struggled with these thoughts, nausea set in, and I became convinced something was wrong. Yes, there was no doubt now. Maybe the reason he made me quit my job was that his mistress worked there. Everything started to make sense, as if he had married me for stability, not love. The line between reality and my imagination became blurry. but I couldn't deny the cruel words he had said after learning about my pregnancy. That day, I decided to gather evidence of Adam's cheating. From then on, his cold behavior toward me was undeniable. It was as if he couldn't forgive me for getting pregnant. Even though I was suffering from morning sickness, he would deliberately eat smelly foods near me and criticize my housework, forcing me to redo tasks. My pregnant body had to endure a lot, and my heart felt heavy. Despite this, I continued to investigate his affair. Adam never let go of his cell phone, even taking it with him to the bathroom, making it impossible for me to sneak a look. When I secretly checked Adam's room, it was always neat and tidy with nothing incriminating in sight. He was meticulous at work, and his desk was always in perfect order. I realized it would be challenging to catch him off guard directly. I often checked Adam's pockets for evidence, like receipts, but my investigation was difficult. I thought about hiring a detective but didn't have the money. While I was deep in thought, I received an unexpected phone call from my father. "Hello, it's me, your dad. How are you?" he asked. Surprised by his call given his busy schedule, I replied, "Dad, what's going on? Aren't you busy with work?" "My employees have been doing well, so I'm not that busy," he explained. My father, the CEO of a company in Italy, was always a workaholic. I didn't have many childhood memories of playing with him, but I respected his dedication to his job. His unexpected call left me curious about the reason. "So what's happening?" I asked. My father then revealed a shocking truth. "Is that really true?" I asked in disbelief. "Yes, he's not the type to lie. I want you to believe me," my father reassured me. Initially, in shock and unable to respond, I felt a mix of anger and frustration as the pieces of the puzzle came together. "Thank you, Dad. I'll do my best," I replied. I thanked him before hanging up the phone. My investigation was finally paying off, but the new information also made me feel angry and frustrated. The tension between Adam and me continued to grow, and even though I was pregnant, Adam remained distant. Every time he acted this way, I felt a deep hatred towards him. Months passed, and our relationship stayed strange. Eventually, something happened that changed everything. At 9 months pregnant, I was always careful around Adam, living in constant fear. I tried to avoid him, leading a quiet and stifled life. One day, I cooked dinner as usual. When Adam came home, we sat at the dining table. As I quietly ate, Adam suddenly slammed his fork down. "What is this?" "It's tasteless," he exclaimed, throwing the food I had prepared onto the floor. I was shocked by his outburst and tried to understand what had just happened. The anger at seeing the meal I had cooked discarded right in front of me started to build up inside. "I've noticed you've been complaining about the taste of the meals recently," I said. Adam criticized my cooking, saying it was bland. Since becoming pregnant, I had been using less seasoning to make healthier meals. This was only temporary until the baby was born. If he found the food plain, he could have added some salt himself. Why did he have to throw it on the floor? I was about to argue when Adam sneered and said hurtful words. "I don't want a woman with a belly like a monster. You'll have to raise the kid by yourself," he said, looking at my swollen belly with a nasty smile. I had always feared this day might come, even though I hoped for a different outcome. Quickly, I went to my room, grabbed a document, and returned to Adam. "Fine, here are the divorce papers," I said, pushing the papers in front of him. Adam's face twisted in shock. "What the hell? What's this all of a sudden?" he stammered. "Well, it was your idea. Now sign it quickly. I'll submit it tomorrow," I responded. The truth was I had been thinking about divorce ever since I began suspecting Adam of cheating. However, with a child on the way, I wasn't sure if I could support myself. But now I had a different plan in mind. My determination seemed to provoke Adam. His face turned red with anger. Just watch. I'll make you regret every moment you looked down on me and tried to control me. Do you think you can survive without me? You have a baby to care for, and you'll regret this, he threatened. But my resolve was firm. I wasn't going to back down. I'll be fine. Don't worry about me, I assured Adam. Maybe irritated by my confidence, he snatched the divorce papers and started filling in the blanks. Here you go. If this is what you wanted, it's yours, he said. Thank you, I responded. Adam probably didn't believe I would actually submit the divorce papers, as he handed them over without any fuss. The next day, I submitted the divorce papers and left the house. I knew he would be surprised when he came home from work and found out. After that, I moved to my parents' home, mostly because my father had returned to Australia from Italy and suggested that I stay with them. It was the right decision at the time. I was tired of my life with Adam and deeply thankful to my father. On the day I left our home, Adam called me 5 times, but I ignored all his calls. Eventually, he stopped calling, which made it clear that I didn't mean much to him. He was probably happy with his mistress and might even remarry soon. I decided to move on from Adam. 7 months passed, and I had my baby, who was born safely. I was now living happily with my parents and my baby. While I was enjoying this peaceful life with my family, Adam called again. I ignored his calls at first, but after several persistent attempts, I finally answered. Hello, what do you want now? I asked, weary of his tone. Hey, what's going on? Why were you on that show? And since when were you the daughter of a CEO with millions of dollars? I never knew that. Adam's voice was full of surprise and anger. It turned out that Adam had seen a TV show that aired after I returned to my family home. I had been featured on the show because of my father's role as the CEO of a well-known global tech company. The show highlighted the lavish lifestyle of the CEO's family, and during the interview, they mentioned our family's wealth, estimating it at around $40 million. I never expected Adam to see that show, but the power of television is incredible. Oh, by the way, I didn't tell you that I have an asset of $50 million due to an early inheritance. That's why I was able to divorce you, I said. Yes, my father had informed me about the inheritance, which gave me the confidence to live comfortably even after divorcing you. Upon hearing this, Adam's reaction was immediate, and he was furious. What? That's not fair. Why didn't you tell me about this before? Half of it is mine, right? Give me the money now, he demanded. I calmly replied, just as I thought. After seeing the show, all you could think about was getting money from me. Gifts from parents aren't included in property division. Are you forgetting your own mistakes? Adam seemed confused and asked, What are you talking about? I continued, I'm tired of your anger, Adam. You called me, so you should know you can't blame me for what you did. You cheated, didn't you? With your new wife, who's a junior from your company. You started dating her even before our marriage. Adam was clearly shocked by the information I had from my father. I finally had the upper hand. Did you think I wouldn't find out? My father has many contacts in your company, and one of them told me about your affair. I've never mentioned it, but I will be demanding child support. Still in denial, Adam protested, Stop joking. Why should I pay child support? It's all because of you, right? You got pregnant on your own and slacked off with household chores. It's all your fault. Hearing Adam blame me without apologizing for his own mistakes was unbelievable. I couldn't believe I was ever married to someone so lacking in common sense. I knew then that leaving him was the right decision. Adam continued, I'm broke. My wife spent all the money I earned, and now I'm in debt. He pleaded. Hearing his pathetic excuse, my anger turned into sheer disbelief. I never wanted to deal with such an unreasonable person again. With that thought, I firmly gripped my phone and said, What are you talking about? Do you even realize how ridiculous you sound? I never want to deal with you again. I'll have my lawyer handle the child support. Don't ever call me again, and you will not see the child anymore. Goodbye. Hey, wait, he called out, but I quickly hung up the phone. Afterwards, I blocked Adam's number and took a deep breath. It's over now, right? No more calls from Adam, I thought. I no longer wanted him disrupting my peaceful life. Just then, I heard my baby crying from the other room and rushed to soothe the baby. Ultimately, Adam began making monthly child support payments. He had to take out loans to pay for his living expenses because the woman he remarried was quite the spendthrift, according to a former colleague. Adam had apparently tried to reach me in an attempt to receive a piece of my inheritance because of these circumstances. But I did not give Adam a single dime. He was having financial difficulties now that his spending exceeded his income. Things just became worse for him, whether it was because he felt like his life was coming apart or because he couldn't stand to be denigrated by his peers. He made the error of beginning his job search just after quitting his present employer, which drove him into destitution. It had no effect on me at all that a coworker had told me this. I believed that he was deserving of all the difficulties. I will never forget the harsh words he spoke to me or the icy way he treated me. I genuinely hope he receives the justice he is due. With my parents' assistance, I'm loving being a parent in the interim. My child is developing normally and contentedly in my family's house. I feel loved and supported, and money is no longer a concern. My father, a prosperous CEO, said he intended to give me ownership of the business. This was unexpected but inspiring news. I came to the realization that I had to get ready for the duties involved in managing a business. I want to make my father, who has always been a hardworking man, proud. I then started studying more about the company and doing little jobs to get a feel for how things operate. I was committed to succeed even though I knew it wouldn't be simple. Rebuilding my life has been made possible by living with my parents. I'm feeling more self-assured and prepared for the future. My father's confidence in me has motivated me to pursue my goals. His faith in my potential has grown to be a source of strength for me. I try to balance my responsibilities as a mother with my plans to take over the business every day. Though it's difficult, I enjoyed every second of it. My parents' encouragement and my infants laughing keep me going. I am appreciative of my second opportunity at life, free from the destructive partnership with Adam. I think back on my time with Adam a lot. Although his cruelty and betrayal caused me much pain, they also gave me important life lessons about courage and value. I've learned from it and become stronger as a result. Right now, my main goal is to provide my child and myself a bright future. The anticipation and thrill of what lies ahead are gradually taking the place of the agony of the past. I'm committed to giving my child a happy and stable life, and I believe I can accomplish anything I set my mind to when my family is by my side. I can now clearly see that my decision to leave Adam was the right one. It made it possible for me to rediscover who I am and what my actual potential is. I am not the fearful, insecure person I used to be. I'm a powerful, competent lady who is prepared to face the world. Adam needs to realize the repercussions of his actions, I hope. For my part, I'll just keep going on, seizing every chance that presents itself, and living each day to the fullest. I am certain that I can rise to any challenge, and am prepared for whatever the future holds.